I've been a big fan of deGoogled Android operating systems for a while now. iOS is my daily driver on my CMF Phone 1 here. But for the last week or so, I've been trying something different. I've been trying out iodéOS, and yeah, today I'd like to tell you all about it. So first things first, how do you actually pronounce it? I'm not 100% sure. Some things online say it's iodéOS. Other places say it's iodéOS. I don't know if it's a da or a day. Maybe you can comment down below if you actually know. But this is another kind of option in the deGoogled kind of world of Android operating systems. But before we get into this particular phone, which is the Pixel 7 that they very kindly sent over for me to test with, I will say that this is not sponsored anyway. They literally just reached out and said, hey, would you like to check out our operating system? We can send you a phone with it pre-installed for you to have a look at. And I said, yes, please. So before we actually do have a look at it, let's go back a week and have a look at the unboxing of the phone. So the unboxing was pretty straightforward, actually. They basically sell refurbished phones, a couple of different options, all with iodéOS pre-installed. And it just comes in this nice kind of simple packaging with the phone and a kind of branded iodé case as well, and just kind of the basics of what you need, really. And this is a really great way for a project to kind of make some money. I think this is always my concern with projects that do things like deGoogled Android operating systems, is these projects need to make money. They need to be able to support developers and everything else. And so to do that, they have to have some sort of revenue stream. And the whole point of a deGoogled operating system is that you do not get tracked and you do not have that ad money coming in that the likes of Google does. So one of the great ways that both iOS and iodé do make some money is they sell phones with their operating systems pre-installed on them, so that you can pick those up easily. You haven't got to worry about flashing a custom ROM, and you can give a little bit of money back to the project. Beyond that, the other ways that these two projects make money does differ a little bit. And throughout this video, we are going to kind of compare the two projects. Like I say, iOS is kind of the one that I've used the longest, so it makes sense to compare it to that. And iOS kind of makes its money mainly through selling cloud services for things like data backup, email, and all that sort of stuff, like a Google Drive, if you like. But they run it themselves, and they sell that as a subscription service, so they make a lot of money there, as well as selling devices. Whereas iodé, they've decided to go down the route of selling phones with it pre-installed, but also offering kind of like a premium version of their tracking app, or their main app on their devices, which is just called iodé. And this is kind of your blocker for trackers and everything else. From my understanding, kind of the free version has everything you need to actually block everything. The paid version is kind of giving you more details, more deeper controls, and kind of customization. So by default, you're not having to pay to get that anti-tracking feature per se. It's just if you want more control, you can pay for the subscription to get the premium version of that app, if you like. So before we go any further into the operating system itself, what is a deGoogled Android operating system? This is something I get questions about on every single video that I do on this kind of subject matter. And that's a fair question because, you know, on the surface, isn't Google Android and isn't Android Google? And the answer is kind of. See, there is the version of Android that Google does promote that runs on their phones, that runs on the likes of Samsung and other big OEMs. But then there is also the version of Android called the Android Open Source Project, which is basically an open sourced version of Android that doesn't have all of Google's proprietary stuff included. It's kind of the base operating system, if you like, that allows you to run apps, but without the Google services. So when you talk about a deGoogled Android operating system, it's essentially an operating system that has taken that Android open source project and built it out into a fully functioning device that users can actually use. And that'll typically include things like maybe certain ways of installing apps, so third-party marketplaces. It might include certain like feature enhancements so that apps will run even though Google services aren't there. Maybe there are kind of third-party versions of Google services, and all those sorts of things kind of combined into the operating system so that it is a functional phone, or functional operating system for people to use. And there's a few of these available in the marketplace. There's actually a really cool kind of comparison table that I was pointed to by the people at Yodé that kind of highlights how these different operating systems square up against each other. Because fundamentally, there isn't a lot of difference here. We're talking, they're all based on Android, but then there are just certain tweaks and improvements that have been put on top of that, which means that, one might be more suited to you than another. And that's kind of why I was very interested in looking at this project, because it's another option available. And I'm a big fan of having a range of different options available to you so that you don't have to just all have the same thing, and you can have something that's a little bit more specific for you. And I think if we look at that chart, really the big difference between Yodé and EOS is that Yodé tends to get software updates quicker, and crucially security updates quicker. As those updates hit the Android open source project, they then get ported into Lineage OS, which is then the custom operating system that these both are actually based on. And so then those updates get pulled in to these two different custom ROMs. And yeah, what I find is from that chart, Yodé tends to get security and feature updates quicker than EOS. And I think there's a main reason for that, at least from what I've seen and what I can understand. And I think that's that with EOS, it's a little bit more kind of opinionated in the way that it looks and the way that it's set up. You have its own custom launcher, which kind of basically makes it look very like iOS-esque, very simple launcher, very simple setup. And you have a lot of kind of defaults kind of baked in. They have a lot of their own apps that they're kind of either forking from other apps or they are building from scratch. Whereas Yodé kind of leans towards more of a stock Android experience. Certainly if you looked at just a phone running Yodé, you would recognize it as Android. You might not actually recognize EOS as Android, not immediately at least. So I think that's one of the reasons why Yodé is able to push out updates so quickly, is that it doesn't have too much custom stuff, certainly on the UI level, certainly on the kind of user-facing front, so that it's quite easy for them to apply those new updates into their operating system. Whereas EOS is a little bit more kind of customized, and therefore I imagine there's quite a lot more work required to get those updates into their operating system. So that's kind of the big difference if you're comparing these two things. In terms of usability, it's Android. It works just like any other Android device in terms of setup, in terms of all those sorts of things. The thing that was different, as we mentioned, is that they don't have Google services installed. So what does that mean in terms of being able to install apps? Well, both EOS and Yodé, Editor Zachary here just popping in to make a correction here. I go on to talk about how the EOS and Yodé OS have the same Aurora store, but that's not quite true. EOS has their own app lounge, which is basically a combination of Aurora Store and F-Droid into one app, whereas Yodé just has Aurora Store and F-Droid as its own separate apps running. So both ROMs have access to the same libraries of applications. They're just done in slightly different ways, with EOS preferring to wrap both into one application and Yodé keeping the official two applications separately. Hope that clears that up. Onwards. Include Aurora Store, and this is a third-party app store that kind of aggregates lots of different ways of getting apps, one of which is the ability to actually download apps from the Play Store without having to log in anonymously. You can even actually then log in if you wanted to and install your paid apps as well. So you still get access to the Play Store apps, but without having to actually be tracked by Google, use the Play Store specifically, or even sign in at all. The other thing that Yodé does include by default as well is F-Droid, which is another third-party kind of storefront which supports open source projects And then, the other thing that a lot of people ask when it comes to these sorts of things is, what about banking apps? What does and doesn't work? And this is a big gray area, really. Unfortunately, it really does come down to the banking app itself to decide whether or not it's going to work on your device. A lot of banking apps do basically look at what software you're running, and if it sees that it's a custom ROM, it won't run. It'll flag an error and it'll fail. Whereas others are quite happy as long as your device isn't rooted and will just run no matter what the operating system is. It's a big grey area, it's a big mess, and unfortunately that is one of the sticking points. It really is going to depend specifically to your bank and your banking app as to whether or not it will work. So yeah, you're going to have to do your own research there, and that is a problem, and it is a bit annoying when it comes to kind of installing apps, because for the most part apps install just fine. I've been using Discord, Proton Mail, LinkedIn, Slack, Thunderbird, PeerTube, TikTok, all of those on here without a problem at all. All are installed through the Aurora store, and yeah, had no issues at all there. Most apps actually work fine. Now, of course, Google apps, on the other hand, will have issues and won't probably work straight out of the box, or any apps that heavily rely on Google services like Google Maps or anything like that. It's not going to work straight out of the boot. However, there are ways around that, and so some things will work. There is basically included kind of a backwards engineered selection of Google services so that you can kind of use Google services without being tracked. Again, it's a little bit of a grey area as to what will and won't work, but a lot of things do work. And if you really, really do need to install those Google apps, you can still install them through the Aurora store. So I don't really see the point. Like, if you're going to install Google apps, just use normal Android. But if you really needed to for some reason, you could. And that comes on to my next point, which is Android Auto. This is a question I've actually had quite a lot on the EOS side of things, and there is actually a guide that's been released by EOS, how to set up Android Auto and get it working. The problem with that is that it does heavily rely on Google services. So again, yes, you can get Android Auto working. I haven't done it on Yode, but I imagine it's exactly the same as EOS. Essentially, you have to download and install a bunch of Google services, and then Android Auto will work. But again, if you're going to do that, this is probably not the phone for you. And it is frustrating. I wish there was a kind of open source, free, tracker-free alternative to Android Auto. So you could still use that in-car infotainment system with your phone and with your phone's apps. But at the moment, that isn't the case. Your only option is to reinstall those Google services. Another question I get asked quite a lot is security. Is it a secure operating system? That's always kind of a tricky one when it comes to Android. And really, what people mean by is it a secure operating system varies dramatically. Now, it's not an operating system that's specifically trying to be secure. There are other custom ROMs out there that their whole goal is be as secure as possible. But Yode does get its security updates from the Android open source project very quickly, and those are kept up to date with the operating system. So I would say it's as secure as any normal Android phone, which in the grand scheme of security isn't very secure. But if you're moving a switch from a normal Android phone, there's no difference. You're not losing security there, and arguably you might gain some by having that tracking kind of blocking ability that this kind of has built in. So what are my general thoughts on Yode and its deGoogled offering? I will say I'm very, very pleased. I think it's a very stable, good kind of product. I like that they do their own phones. I quite like the case as well. I think that's kind of cool with the laser cut wood. And yeah, as far as a deGoogled Android offering goes, it's a great option. If you're looking for something that is more closely kind of resembling stock Android, I would say this is the good choice to go with. I still really like EOS. I really like what they're doing, and I really like how they're managing to keep themselves going as a software company and actually building revenue. So I think I will be sticking to EOS, but that's just my personal preference. I think as far as an option goes, like if I was presented with a phone and just had to pick one of the two to install, it'd be very difficult to actually pick because they are both really good options. If I'm being really nitpicky, I think I prefer the track blocking that EOS has versus the app that Yode has. They're both good. They both do a good job at blocking trackers. I just think you get a lot more kind of information on the EOS side, whereas I think some of that information is kind of behind the paywall on Yode. So yeah, if I was going to be really nitpicky, that's probably the only thing I could find as an issue. But in terms of like installing and running apps and using all the services that I use, I had no problem. I had no problem with either. So it does work very well. It's been a really interesting week just trying something different. Yeah, I would highly recommend it. If you're looking for a deGoogled Android operating system, and specifically looking for something that's closer to stock Android, I would say go check it out. So thank you very much for watching. We're going to wrap it up there for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've certainly had a lot of fun looking at this. So thank you, and we will see you again for another video very, very soon. Bye for now.